här bilen hyr vi näst.
E agora, onde está o outro?
É que você vai coração
seu comentário.
You need to stay together, though.
R2-D2 just walked in. They go to me. Decrease in production activities in drawing sector 2. Shutdown procedures will be carried forward. Copy 120.4.
Let's begin the tour. Here at the Disney-MGM Studios, we feature sound stages, outdoor sets. This afternoon, you're going to visit all of these areas. If we're lucky, we may even catch a production crew at work. At this point, I would like to say that there are no photo restrictions on Part 1 of the Backstage Studio Tour, so take as much film and video as you like. And speaking of photography, our first photo opportunity is coming up. High in the sky to the right, it's the symbol of the Disney-MGM Studios. Is our award-winning Eiffel Tower. Now it stands 13 stories tall and is capped off by a set of Mickey Mouse ears that weigh 16 tons. Now in case anybody's wondering, and I know you are, that's a hat size of 342 3/8. As we round the corner, we're going to be past futuristic looking vehicles. First two futuristic looking vehicles, you're going to see a classic black car with green spokes, and that was used in the office space. Now bungalow number 1, that's the home to divorce court. Bungalow number 2 is Dick Clark Productions, and they're reviving the old game show, Let's Make a Deal. And bungalow number 3 is the permanent home to the Mickey Mouse Club, which airs every weekday on the Disney Channel. Now if you look off, it's been built. Now you may have already noticed that all the greenery is stored in small portable boxes, and so they can be easily transported to and from the set. Here in the Greens department, we even have our own cast of characters. The sculpted figures on your right are called topiaries. They can take up to 10 years to develop. Camel and the elephant, for example, have been shaping up since 1983. Now look off to your right. Now we're entering a more glamorous department, creative costuming. You're going to want to look over to your left as we enter the tunnel. You're going to see some of the 180 artists that design and manufacture costumes for our motion picture, television, and live entertainment needs. To the right through this department, you're going to see the original costumes worn by Madonna and Warren Beatty, including Dick Tracy. Julie Andrews, 26-year-old dressed from Mary Poppins, Michael Jackson's face, Captain EO and the human co-stars of Who's Ranger on your left. Here in costume, you're all stars with the design and sketches, some of which can be seen on the far wall. Then the seamstress and tailors take over. They use over 175,000 yards of fabric each year. Number increases every day. Now, just beyond the costume department is our lighting department. In here, we can provide up to 3.5 million watts of light for productions on and off the lot. Now, to put that in perspective for you, that's enough power to light the entire city of Orlando. Next is our Dick Tracy makeup shop, where we're currently displaying some of the mask and makeup techniques that were used to create all the great villains in the film Dick Tracy. Next is our camera storage and maintenance department. Here, technicians maintain some of the film and video equipment used here at the studio. Here at the end of the tunnel, last but certainly not least, is our scenic shop. In here, companies begin construction of sets that are later finished on the soundstage, known as a standing set. And a standing set can be as simple as a living room or a bedroom like you'd see on your favorite travel to cities and towns to film on location. They often run into problems that they have little or no control over. Things like large crowds, traffic, and noise. Now, to get around these problems, they often prefer to shoot here on a studio backlot. Now, this portion of our backlot is known as Residential Street. And you may notice something a little odd about all the houses if you'll look at the first house on our right, or should I say look right through it, because it's just an empty shell or a facade. And for those of you who saw the film, you may recognize the house. That was Vern's home in the movie. Now, all the houses here on Residential Street are built with different architectural style. Picked just about any neighborhood in the USA we would like. Now, if you look off to your left, see if you can recognize the beige, modern Hawaiian style home coming up. No one actually lives here, but if you look on the mailbox, you'll see that it is the television homes of B. Arthur, Betty White, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty. Now, the exterior shots are filmed out here on the back lot, then edited together with the footage shot on the soundstage. That gives us the final show that you see every Saturday night on NBC. Now, once a house has been selected for a month, all this tells us about the family that really doesn't live there at all. About the only thing missing would be a swing set, and that's located right back there in the back lot playground, just across the street. Now, with a little bit of fancy film editing, we can make the playground or the area next to it appear to be the backyard of any one of the houses on Residential Street, and that's pretty amazing, considering none of the houses even have backs on them. Now, off on our left, you're going to see we're coming up on our backlot church, and it's designed with plain clapboard sides and simple windows, architectural details that are appropriate for a small town setting. But what if our script called for the big city? Well, up ahead to your left is the urban counterpart to Residential Street. It's our home little slice of the Big Apple. 1943 film classic Casablanca, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. For you Star Wars filmers, Space Pod, some of you may recognize that from the Disney film Flight of the Navigator. That's one of two space pods that we have here in the boneyard. That one's behind those imitation trolley car wheel moldings are steel belted radial bus tires. Now, remember when I told you that all the houses on Residential Street were just facades and that they didn't have backs on them? Well, look across the canal to your right, you get a real backstage view of these houses. As you can see, there's not a lot of privacy in this neighborhood. Notice how the architectural details like the shingles on the roof stop just beyond camera range. That's because we only build what the camera needs to see. An environment you just could not find here in Central Florida. For instance, where in Central Florida would you find an active oil field in the middle of a dry, rocky, barren desert canyon? Well, you wouldn't. Till a few months ago, a production crew came out here on our back lot and built one for us. Now, normally we would not be allowed on a set like this because some of the effects in here were just too dangerous. But some of them were a little safer and just as spectacular, so we kept those and made this a time for just one set. But once you get a look at all the great special effects in here, I think you're going to agree with me that it was well worth the time and effort. Now, once again, it is very important for everyone to remain seated, especially during this part of the tour, because the bridge we are crossing is very bumpy. Now, we're going to pull the entire shuttle in here. We're going to stop for just a few moments. I'm going to point out a few things, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, Richard, this is like on the boneyard. Now, it may not look too good, but it runs great. And it wasn't easy getting it in here. We couldn't just drive it across the ravine, so it had to be hoisted up and over the canyon walls and lowered into place with a crane. Then they set the parking brake, I hope. Now, remember when I told you here on the back lot we could even control the weather? Well, that rain had to be ready to fall. Now, the rain effect you are seeing is created by high-powered water spouts located just overhead out of camera range and then shoots the water up in the air so it falls to the ground naturally, gives the more a steel structure with a wire mesh and colored cement skin that's been hand carved to look like real rock formations. The small yellow pipes you see running throughout the set carried all that propane gas for the fires and explosions that you saw, and large white pipes carried all the water for the flash flood. Now that flood was created when we opened the gates to 3 large holding tanks at the top of the canyon, sending 70,000 gallons of water rushing toward B to come running out the door just any minute. But as you see, it's 2 churches in one, because as you move around to the front of it, because if you look off to your right through the arch, we're in New York City. It's known as forced perspective. The real Empire State Building is over 100 stories tall. Ours is just a little over 4. Hey, wait a minute. Well, okay, if we've got any tunes on board, you better watch your floppy ears and your fuzzy tails, because there's the original Dipmobile created by Judge Doom in the movie Who Framed Roger. Now, it took set designers a year and a half to plan and construct all the facades you see here on New York Street. Although the brick and stonework may look like the real thing, there's actually not a single brick or stone in any one of these buildings. They're all just fiberglass and styrofoam on a steel frame. They've been coated with a thin... And as we enter 8th Avenue, you're going to notice that it looks like it jumped right out of the comic books. That's because it's modeled after the actual set of Dick Tracy. You notice it's painted in all the primary colors, just like the actual set. That's to give the comic book effect. And as we come to the end of 8th Street, some of these police cars and the yellow and red cars are from the actual film Dick Tracy. And it looks like someone even left a message.
From Disney's first PG-rated film, The Black Hole. A lot of you might remember this old lady. That's Angie from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. This dolphin head, and that cocoon pod, and that cocoonology create the illusions that you see on the big screen. It all starts with a storyboard, and then miniature sculptures like this one are made and used as guides to create. Another process we use to bring creatures to life is known as stop-motion animation. And this process, a model is photographed, 1 frame of film at a time. And then an animator will step in and move the figure slightly between each shot. When the frames are projected back at normal speed, the movement appears very fluid and lifelike, as with this scorpion scene from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. On the track. Now that's actually a mirror. It angles the reflection of the train back into the camera lens, and on film it looks like a head-on collision. To complete the rest of the scene, a matte painting has to be created from what we call a key illustration. First, the live action and miniature segments are projected onto a large sheet of glass, and an artist paints in the big city background. Finally, animated twinkling stars, flashing neon lights. Annie says you folks can go in now. Go in where though, Auntie? Oh, of course, the next stop on your tour, which is the special effects shooting stage. For you folks that are facing me, please turn to your left. Use the doors that are open on your left. Everyone else, you can continue moving right on through the rows at your arm.
Please continue moving right on in, folks. Both levels are open. Kick your legs, scream really loud, and look really scared, okay? Camera ready? Ready! And action! As you can see, our video remains stationary on the floor. Look at your monitor to see how our video control camera makes it appear in flight. Keep it up, guys. And cut. Can we set it up for one more take? I appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's talk. The screaming was pretty good. Our maybe was really good. But this is supposed to be the scariest ride of your life. Look up here and you're both smiling the whole time. But that's okay. Because we're going to make the scene a little more dramatic. You're going to pretend like you're falling off the beat. So you reach. Look at the terror on that face. Now, in the original movie, all these elements were shot and assembled on film, but today we're using video so you can see the results right away. Now we're going to play back a completed scene.
My name is Jeff and I'll be your guide today for the Great Movie Ride. We're going to take you from this Hollywood soundstage right into the middle of the action of some of the greatest films ever made, from the Hollywood of the 1930s. Let's begin with a little music, and here's some of Hollywood's best, a Busby Berkeley extravaganza from Footlight Parade. Up ahead you'll see Gene Kelly singing in the rain, and further on are Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews in the Academy Award-winning Mary Poppins.
Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place.
That lurk in the shadows of the big city. This is the underworld, the dark world of the gangster film, scene of such classics as The Public Enemy, starring the great James Cagney.
Dirty nose with yellow belly shoe. I'm gonna get you that pretty nose right in the head the first time I see him. You and who else? Oh, you dirty, double pushing. Open up and
And it was on streets just... Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Why don't you just walk over? Set up a flare or something. Oh, jeez.
From the bad guys.
That's where I'm walking around the
Go right ahead. That's what you're going to do. A long time ago, I made me a rule. Let people do what they want.
Tales of the Old West have been an inspiration. Oh no! It sounds like someone is robbing the bank. I better go get help. Just stay seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Your guide will return momentarily. Remain seated, please.
Look what we got here, just in time for the perfect getaway.
Hold it right there.
You two will never get away with this.
Oh, yeah?
Oh no!
Yes, why? And that bank's fixing the love heart or something.
Reach for the sky. You're under arrest. Nothing doing with it. Get yourself up. Make it a joke. Easy on you. Taking my neck in the noose.
Y'all are running out, so hold on to your horses. We're going for a little ride.
ship Nostromo. Something has gone wrong. One by one, the crew has vanished. And somewhere in the ship, a terrifying creature waits to claim its next victim. Warning, remain in your vehicles. The area you are entering is extremely dangerous. Proceed with caution.
The emergency distress system is now activated. The ship will necessitate Spiders, T-5.
Now, what did I do to deserve this? Hey, Slim! I bet you want ya. What kind of hair tonic you been using? Oh, it can't get any worse than this. It's worse.
Discovery, and what will be your fate? Beware.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Hey, what are you looking at, you cross-eyed varmint?
The dust of 3,000 years lies undisturbed. The great stone god, a priceless jewel.
Would you look at her at that fancy red jewel? Oh, you're mine, darling. You're all mine. Hey, I don't know any hombres move while I'm up there fetching my treasure. Of course, you want a belly full of lead.
But the jewel is guarded by a curse, and those who dare defy that curse must pay with their lives.
Halt, unbeliever. Disturb the treasure of the gods, and you shall all pay with your lives.
Hi everyone. Well, that just goes to show. They tell me these guys are only dangerous when their eyes are glowing red. Does anyone have any eye drops? Well, it's a good thing they're moving slow, because we'll be out of there by the time they could have reached us. Of course, you move slow too if you were 3,000 years old. Cheetah as herself. Let me translate what Jane said just a few moments ago. Hey Tarzan, don't forget that cannibals are having us for dinner tonight, and I haven't a thing to wear. Hang in there, Tarzan. It's a jungle out there.
Lost
anyone. That was an accident.
Well, my little pretty, I can cause accidents too.
Oh, rubbish. You have no power here. Now be gone before someone drops a house on you, too.
Very well. I'll bide my time. But just try to stay out of my way. Just try. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
The sooner we get out of Oz, the better, but which way do we go?
Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road?
Yellow brick road.
Now, why didn't I think of that?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disney-MGM Studios is proud to present Sorcery in the Sky. Lights. Camera. Action. comic strip. On the eve of November 13th, 1940, and in the very same theater where Mickey Mouse made his debut only a dozen years before, Walt's dream finally came true. A 3-year effort to marry animation to classical music had been completed just 2 days before its world premiere. The New York Times called the result motion picture history, simply terrific. The film was Fantasia.
Sabi ko sa mga película,